Yes, so we're looking at the sum of the interior angles in a polygon. That just means a shape. We already started this yesterday. Which shape did we look at yesterday? A triangle. Yesterday we've only looked at a triangle. So yesterday we looked at a three-sided shape, and we found that the sum, if you add all the angles together, let's call this A, B, and C. If we added them all together, what did they add up to in a triangle? They added up to 180. So we can say A plus B plus C equals 180 degrees. We're going to continue looking at the rules for the sum of the interior angles in other shapes, not just a three-sided shape, but we're going to look at other shapes as well. The next shape has how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? A four-sided shape, how many triangles can you draw? How many triangles is it made up of? Elijah? 2 triangles, right? I can divide a four-sided shape. Doesn't matter what the shape looks like. If it has 4 sides, I can divide it up into 2 triangles, right? Okay, so how many degrees do you think the angles will add up to inside the shape?
360?
Yes, how do you know that, Danica? I have one triangle, and I already know that one triangle is 180 degrees, the 3 angles. And then we have another triangle, which is another 180 degrees. 180 plus 180 is 360. So a four-sided shape, the sum of the interior angles adds up to 360. Let's look at a 5-sided shape. Okay, I just drew a pentagon, 5 sides. How many triangles can I draw? 1, 2, 3 triangles. What do you think the sum of the interior angles in a pentagon add up to? 180 plus 180 plus 180 equals 540. What do you notice is happening every time you add a side? It increases by how many degrees? 180. Good. If it's a 3-sided shape, the sum of the interior angles will add up to 180. If it's a 4-sided shape, 360. 5 sides, 540, and so on. Every time we add a side, we're adding 180 degrees. So I want you to tell me what the other sums add up to. Yes, Copper. 6 sides. 720. Good. Good. 900. 8 sides. Yes. 1,080. 9 sides. Copper. 1,260, and a 10-sided shape. Good. We've talked about this formula before. To find the sum of the interior angles in any polygon, we take 180 and we multiply it by the number of sides, subtract 2. The number of sides, take away 2, gives you the number of triangles. And every time we add a side, we add a triangle, okay? So this is the formula. Sum equals 180 times and take away 2. So, let me ask you, if the shape has 15 sides, a 15-sided shape, okay, if the shape has 15 sides and I ask you, what is the sum of the angles inside that shape going to be equal to? How would you calculate the sum of the angles? Yes?
180.
Yeah?
Times.
What's the number of sides?
15.
Yeah, and then what do we have to do with that?
Minus 2.
Minus 2, good. So we have to do bad math, we have to do brackets first. What's 15 take away 2? 13. That's brackets, sorry. So 180 times 13 equals? 2,000. Good. So if the shape has 15 sides, the sum of the interior angles, the angles inside that shape, will always add up to 2,340 degrees. Okay, so if it's a 15-sided shape, we figured out that the total sum of the interior angles is 2,340 degrees. Now, assuming that every angle is the exact same size, how would you calculate the measure of each angle? If there's 15 sides, how many angles are there? 15 angles, right? 15 sides means 15 angles. So if there's a total of 2,340, and I want to know what's the size of one angle, what would you do? Yes?
180.
Nope. The total is 2,340. How many angles are inside the shape? Yes, Daniel. So what do I do to find out the total of one angle? Divided by 15. Good. So the answer is 156 degrees. So the total is 2,340 of all the angles inside, but each one of those is 156 degrees. Does that make sense? Okay, so we were looking at the sum of the interior angles, and we know it's different for every single shape, right? But the sum of the exterior angles in any shape is always going to be the exact same. Does anyone know what the exterior angles will always add up to? I'll give you a clue. The exterior angles form a circle.
360.
Good. Okay, so back to our 15 side. So that's the answer for C. Sum of the exterior angles will always equal 360. So in this example, if there are 15 sides, how many exterior angles are there?
Would we divide?
Yes, but how many are there? How many angles are there? If the shape has 15 sides, there's 15 interior angles and 15 exterior angles. So what's the measure of one exterior angle? How would we calculate that? Danica just said it.
360
Divided by 15 equals 24 degrees. In this question, we have to work backwards. This time, we're given the sum. Okay, in the previous question, we had to find the sum. This time, we're given the sum, and we have to figure out how many sides does the shape have. So what's the first thing you should write down? The formula. What is the formula to find the sum of interior angles? S equals 180, bracket, n minus 2. We're trying to find the number of sides. So in this question now, we're trying to find n. We're not trying to find the sum, which we just did. We're trying to find n. Do you know the sum? Yes. What is the sum? Am I going to plug in 3,240 for S or for n? S. We're trying to find the number of sides. N represents the number of sides. We don't know how many sides it has, but we know that the sum is 3,240. So I want you to copy this down. This is for 9A. 3,240 is equal to 180 times the number of sides, take away 2. I want to divide both sides by 180 because then that gets rid of this. My goal is to get n by itself. So I have to, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So what's 3,240 divided by 180? Okay, 18 is equal to, what do I have left over on the right side still? N minus 2. I still have the n minus 2. What's the opposite of take away 2? If I add 2, does that get rid of this? Is that gone? Negative 2 plus 2? Yes, so what do I have to do to the left side? I have to add 2. What's 18 plus 2? N equals 20. So if the total, if the sum of the interior angles is 3,240, how many sides will that shape have? 20 sides. Okay, so if the total is 3,240 degrees and the shape has 20 sides, can you find the measurement of one of the angles? If there's 20 sides, how many angles are there? 20. So what do you have to do? Get the total and divide by What is it equal to? Good, so one angle is 162. Altogether, there's 20 angles. Each angle is 162 degrees. Okay, now what about the exterior angles? Does anyone remember the total of the exterior angles? What is it always going to equal? Now in this shape, there's 20 sides. So how many exterior angles are there? How many exterior angles are there altogether? Good, so divide by 20. What is the measurement of one exterior angle? What's 360 divided by 20? 18 degrees.